Let's recap what Heavy told us. Commodron's fortress blueprints are stored in this facility. Trash, make sure to protect Engineer if anything happens while he breaks into their servers.
Make sure you return my top engineer back quickly. I need that teleporter functional as soon as possible before the trash spot figures out what we are doing.
Gummitron is a fool, chasing after a ghost that originates from some different world.
Commander Spy, how could you say that about our Emperor?
We should expand our focus conquering lesser worlds, not going after some worthless trash can.
You pulling me from my work does not speed up the fixing of the teleporter.
Quiet! I need you to fix the server problem that the morons here haven't been able to solve. I am an engineer, main. Been since 2021? Man, half the time has passed. During that time I've gotten over 1,000 hours of playtime on him and I've improved quite a bit on the class. But the reason why I'm Engie main is that in my opinion he has an excellent set of gameplay out of all the 9 classes, which totally won't make you alcoholic to cope with the losses you will experience during the round. So in case some of the older viewers feel like they've seen something similar, this is a remake of the TF2 video that started it all. I just wish to showcase people why they should main Engineer and potentially some of the other classes in separate videos. So before we start, answer these questions. First, are you prone to depression? Do you resort to drinking if things go bad? Do you have any talks? If you say no to these questions, then I promise you will start having them once you start playing Engineer. So let's move that gear up and embrace the misery, the joy that is Engineer. So first off, some history behind my decision to become an Engie main. I used to be a scout player, you know, being fast and annoying. That is the origin for the hat my original mascot uses. But over time I got bored playing him and disliked that I had to put myself often in danger to be useful. Plus my aim sucks harder than your mom on Friday night, so after getting blown up for the 200th time, I got interested in Engineer as I do enjoy his character being this soft-spoken Texas with some serious issues. So I made that switch and the rest is history. So about his gameplay. As the name implies, your job is to set up buildings, maintain them and hope that the enemy team doesn't get smart and blow them up as soon as they encounter you. Your tools consist of sentry, dispenser and teleporters, each with 3 tiers of upgrades with differences that I'll quickly flash on the screen. Did you catch all that? Hopefully you did, as your life will be more meaningful at this point. Maintaining your stuff means you won't be seeing as much action, but it also means you don't have to constantly get killed by the same comp MGE player. So what exactly are these buildings? I'd hope you know since you're most likely a TF2 player, but just in case I'll explain them. Sentry gun, basically the main building, is an automated turret that shoots the bad guys and denies area, so keep it up at all costs if you don't wish to be turned into Swiss cheese. You can alternatively build mini sentry on offense and quickly make scouts hate you. Dispenser, my baby, dispenses health and ammo to your teammates and also can work as a barrier. You really want to keep this building up as when things get hairy you want that reliable source of health and metal. I usually feel the most depressed when this building goes down as it almost feels like someone shot my child. It's so cute, look at it! Teleporters, your twins, teleport your teammates faster to the front line or if you're feeling sly, to a cliffside where they will fall to their death. On bigger maps these are essential to have as on maps like Badwater the objective is usually far away, so make sure to build them whenever you get the chance. But if you're defending the last point or play on a smaller map like Harvest, they're not too necessary to have, especially when there's always that one that keeps destroying the entrances. Yes, I do in fact not like you. I have made an entire video dedicated to building placements and such, so here I'll just give a few tips. For the love of God, don't build them next to each other. If you get spammed by explosives, they will all go down at the same time. This is especially bad if your fellow engineer keeps setting his stuff right next to yours. You have no idea how much this infuriates me as I intentionally build them on different spots as I don't want them to go down. But I really try to be kind to the newer players as we all were like that at one point. Remember to share your dispenser whenever possible as you don't want to be known as the guy who acts like the dispenser was promised to you 3 minutes ago. Just put it in a spot where it's helpful to you and your team. So let's discuss the weapons. Engineer has an excellent weapon selection as most of them have their own uses, and my favorite aspect of it is also the fact that it's dynamic. What I mean is that you have to keep switching loadouts to be effective. It's not like Soldier where your most effective loadout for the majority of the game requires the stock, the gunboats and escape plan. I am exaggerating this for the sake of comedy, but still, I love this aspect of Engie. So for example, on defense you will like to first start off with Rescue Ranger to heal your buildings from a safe distance, Wrangler to tank insane amounts of damage and a Wrecker to be able to teleport back to your spawn. But after getting your shit kicked in and being harassed by the 10k Howard spy main, you might switch to Shotgun for obvious reasons and then Jack to put your stuff back up fast. Maybe switch out to Short Circuit if you wish to ruin Soldier players' days. As you can see in this example, you have to really think about your options, and I haven't even mentioned having to think about where to put your stuff. And on offense you get some fun options too. You could be the Turtle NG who stays behind, or embrace the Boomer Shooter side and go full on Battle NG. It's just so much fun as you're like a slightly fat scout, but this time you have this thing called Mini Sentry that will give you the nickname the most annoying player on TF2. And if you have a medic with crits, well, I guess I don't have to explain this one. Gunslinger is such a lovely weapon. I will now proceed to glaze the pistol, as while my aim sucks I am pretty good at tracking, and I just love this thing so much. So much that I bought Capper, because I love laser pistols. Engineer is such a wonderful class to play with zero problems or counters. So let's talk about his counters and problems you will run into. I'm so scared following me. Oh my god, Spy, don't do it! Oh man, it's always a fucking spy. I do not like spies. Those Pakwete-Mansim fuckers tend to really make your job harder because 1, he can disguise and avoid sentry detection. 2, he has Sapper which disables your stuff. 3, backstabs. It's like Spy was put on God's green earth to make sure you never have a moment of peace, as you can never stop being paranoid about him appearing behind you to give you some nasty backshots. You might think, well, just spy check more, as he's pretty easy to kill if you find him. That is an excellent point, but there's just one small problem, especially if you play on casual. Kunai and Deathringer. Do you know how age it is when you know a spy fake is dead and when you finally have a chance to blow his brains out, he stabs some clueless teammate which then changes the cat and mouse game to "There's a spy behind you, people! Turn the fuck around before he becomes immortal!" And when you finally manage to kill that fucker, you have to deal with soldiers and devilmen. Their explosives were invented to make sure you won't have a relaxing round where nothing ever happens. Just a couple rockets and stickies and kablooey! Your hard work disappears. I swear these guys almost get offended if they learn your sentry exists in some random corner of the map. Luckily, Wrangler allows you to tank huge amounts of damage, and Short Circuit makes it clear to the enemy that they should consider jumping off a cliff. Like, I don't mind too much if my sentry goes down, but leave the dispenser alone. Oh, for fuck's sake, it can't get any worse. I am charged! Of course, I almost forgot. Uber. When the medic has Uber, you can safely bet that it's time to get the fuck out and seek a safer position. Alex! Oh my god! But unlike spies, I do like going against Uber medics, as I can just Wrangler the sentry to distract the duo, and then yank either sentry or dispenser to safety. So in short, I like soldiers, demomen and medics, but for spies, I will say this in Finnish. Haistakaa sekin te kaikki olette kissanpetujen potkijoita, säälittäviä täysin turhia tapauksia, ja lopuksi olette. Sometimes you might not even be able to build anything past level 1 if the enemy team is aggressively knocking at your door, and it doesn't help your teammates can also be your biggest enemy. Nothing gets my blood pressure up like some soldiers stealing your big ammo pack during critical moments like setup, or the fourth sniper taking your teleporter when you need it more. Like, sure, I get it, I sometimes do this by accident, but it still doesn't help my eventual alcoholism when these keep stacking up. Like, I can deal with enemy spies, but do correct me if I am wrong, but you can slap your teammates until they learn to not keep taking your metal. I have learned to keep all of this to myself and not swing any wild Finnish insults at my teammates. But please, if you see an engineer upgrading his buildings, just be patient and use the dispenser instead. And these are just personal gripes of mine, but playing on new maps is often a pain, as you won't have to figure out the best building positions and rollouts. I don't even know most of the spots on the other popular levels like Sweet Spotter, so don't feel too discouraged if you have no idea where to set up shop, as I am in that position every time Valve adds new maps. and it is fairly difficult to go AFK as NG as anything can happen in the span of 10 to 30 seconds. You know, like taking a piss from drinking too much water, remember to stay hydrated. So before we end the video, I wish to showcase my favorite cosmetics for him. I have this Blizzardly Storm Texas 10 gallon and Strange insulated inventory that are both painted white, as I like the color white as it reminds me of snow and I do enjoy winter. Side note, Engihere has an excellent jacket trip selection, like I can't even decide what to use most of the time since they're all so great. Then I got Strange Special Eyes painted lime green because they're Clank eyes, and we all gotta remember that Clank is the man. Well, guess that'll do. While NG is not the flashiest of classes, his role as a support can't be underestimated as usually your buildings are the reason why the frontline holds. Sure, he's a pain to play at times, especially when there's always that 130k kunai spy player who's not considered fucking off and finding a job, but I honestly recommend playing him as he's a fun class. Sure, the building management gameplay takes some time to learn, becoming paranoid about everything is not too great, and try to stay positive when everything goes down can be a bit tricky. But once you do learn and come to terms with the fact that spies will suck no matter what class you play, and learn some breathing techniques to help you calm down, it doesn't take too long for the enemy team to start having trouble pushing through the choke with you guarding it. You gotta remember, what stands between a lost game and victory is you. Is this all you got? It's way too easy. Won't you stop talking for 5 seconds already? Oh no. This isn't over, trash spot. Your world will be ours.
Trash, why didn't you smash this guy's face in with your powers?
Ah, about that. I fixed the issue with my core storing up that energy.
You did what? I can't believe I have to work with someone this stupid.
At least this cool hammer remained. It's kinda heavy to use though.
Is it too late to switch sides?
We got the blueprints, let's head back to the base to plan our next move.